So back in 2015, I got a job, and this is absolutely on paper, it's absolutely amazing job. So I was doing graphic design for a company that was basically one guy, and he was a DJ. So he had this techno agency, and he would just like make like call all these hot shots like from techno, like Paul Kalkbrenner, and then if you know techno, like all these big names, they would be there. And then I was in charge of creating the image for one festival that he made in the castle. So for 9 months, I worked for this dude, and he was completely bonkers, like completely bonkers. Like I can't. So he had to sell tickets, right, for the event, and I was in front of the computer making the designs for a poster or whatever, and he would come behind me, grab my shoulders, and say, "Do the thing," you know, and all like crazy stuff. This is one of the things that he would do, and it was off. Like I enjoyed being around this thing because it was like really free. I could get access to watch and people play live. Techno music was fucking insane. Like everything else apart from dealing with the guy and then doing like arriving to work. And mind you that every single lunch I would go out to eat with him, and he would drink up like a big pint or a big amount of wine. And if I drink with him, I would just go to work after lunch like super drunk, and he would just go home and sleep for the rest of the afternoon. And this guy was like 50 years old, so he would do this like every day. It was crazy. It was like
Yeah, for sure for a couple of months must have been really fun though.
it was fun in the beginning. At the end, I was just like counting the days until I could leave because I was just not. And then, funny story. At the end of this was one of those jobs that you get in Portugal that the government pays a little bit of the salary. So the actual company has a little bit of more room, but people just hire the minimum people that they can hire to do the jobs, overwork them, and then send in the next guy. So a little bit above the internship because some internships don't even pay
Yeah.
people. But this was like a regular job. I had like a 700 euro salary or something like that. And he would pay just a tiny bit of that, like 25% or something, and the rest would come from the government. The last few months I would get paid. So the first few months I would get paid through bank transfers, and he would make me sign a paper every month so that he would have proof that I received the money, stuff like this. And then at the end, he would just arrive with a little bit of like the money in a envelope, and I would find this strange. And he was like this in debt because of all
Oh
the
my
stuff.
god.
Like it was crazy. And the end at the end, like I left, and I still had to deliver work for him. Like after a month, I had left, and the
Oh my
last month
god.
he didn't pay, so I had to like call him and say, look, you haven't paid the last like month that I was there. And I basically called and sent emails until the point that I just sent a message to him saying, either you pay me, or I'm gonna do rattle on you and just say this to someone. And eventually, like he paid me, and then he was making me the bad person and the villain. So I was the worst person because I did that. So yeah, so that
You
was fun
wouldn't work
time.
for free.
Yeah, like this guy. Can you believe this guy making me pay him what I owe him? Yeah, so stuff like that.
The
So
worst.
the worst kind of people, right? So yeah, and then, and he actually asked me if I wanted to stay working for
Of
him.
course. Oh my
So
god.
and apart, if it wasn't for that and other stuff, like I could have stayed there if it was like. And then it was there was no organization. Like he would just arrive, and this was the person that would work with him, not just him, but I would arrive home, and then there's nothing planned, and suddenly he's like, oh yeah, we have this to do for yesterday. Like you have to deliver this for yesterday. Like there's this poster that you have to do for yesterday. Oh, there's this communication that we just need for yesterday. And I was just like looking at them, dude. No one
Whoops.
works for yesterday. Like, do you go to a doctor or a bread maker or a TV or I don't know. No one works for yesterday. You don't go to a place like to a professional person and ask for work that has to be done for yesterday. You can't do that. That's how it went for a few months. Now that you mentioned worst job experience, it's that and working at a factory. If you ever worked at a factory, I don't know if you guys ever worked at a factory. Don't.
No.
Don't, because it's just it numbs you up, and the repetitive work of a factory and a product line, like doing the same thing for 8 hours. I've done that. It kills all the living creativity or whatever. So that's my worst job.
Do we have more
story.
work jobs, or is just that?
I think
I never
mine
had
wasn't
a
like a
bad
paid
job.
job, but it was this expo that I did with a couple of friends and some people that I didn't know. So they were from my university, and we weren't paid, but it was like, okay, you get to do this exposition in this really cool place, and like we pay for your food and whatever while you're doing it. And we were working with these really cool like artists, like famous guys from like street art in Barcelona, which is not at all like what I do. It's not my style, but it was really cool to like learn how what their process was and stuff. And so these guys were awesome. They were teaching us about all of the type of graffiti they do, or like putting off posters and the interventions in buildings that they do, which was really nice. And then these other people that we didn't know, that were not the teachers, were the people that were working alongside us. Um, they were like, okay, well, that's all good, but we already have an idea of what we want to do. And me and my friends were like, well, okay, what's the idea? And they were like, oh, we're gonna cover the whole place in trash. And we're like, okay, well, what's that have to do with anything? Like, I don't really understand it. And then it was like 15 versus 3. So we were like, all right, I guess so. We'll put like a wall of graffiti or posters and kind of like this trash that they wanted to do. I was like, oh, I don't really care. Like, that sounds like a terrible idea, but if you want to do it, you do it. The worst thing is we went to go find the materials. So like dumpster diving and like in the street, like grabbing trash. And they were all just like, go pick this up. Oh, you pick this up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, take all of that. Yeah, that will look good. And I was like with gloves, like touching the trash, like, oh, fuck you. I don't want to do this project. And now you're making me pick up the trash. Come on.
Sounds like contemporary art.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was not my thing.
I'm all up against like volunteering work. I've done some volunteering work for like TEDx's and other events, and it's crap. Like if you need people to do some jobs, like just pay them. It's because then you don't have to complain about them not showing up or whatever stuff that people actually end up doing because you're not paying them, and you cannot hold anyone accountable if you're not actually paying them. Sometimes it makes sense because it's like you give opportunity to people to experience some things, but still you have to provide a minimum.
Yeah. Ieva, do you have any experiences?
No, I never had bad jobs. I had
Oh my God, you're
hard
so lucky.
jobs. Yeah, I had hard jobs, but bad ones, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I worked as a waitress. That was really hard. But that's it. I mean, job is not supposed to be easy sometimes when you're like 20, 21. It's okay. But I mean, it's a bit like I'm struggling now to find gigs and freelance jobs. So I think now it's the rough patch. But
Freelancing is hard.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and you have to do that constantly.
Yeah.
There's so much business into it as well, no?
Exactly. It's like 80% of just selling yourself. It's just like
exactly.
That's why I don't do it. That's exactly my point. Like, I don't want to be.
Yeah, I can understand that completely.
Yeah.
Because I don't like really talking about myself that much. Like, I just don't like it. But the thing is, like, I have to just blah, blah, blah my way into it. And I'm just like, come on, just, you see my work, so just hire me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so true. And also the financial part as well. Like, you have to collect.
Something that I really struggle with, the social media part, is like so boring to me, and like there's no way around it, you know, because obviously like now that's the way you do it. But I'm the same. I have Instagram, and I don't think I have posted anything in forever, because I was just like, this is not for me. And now that I'm going to put up the website with this or whatever, I'm thinking I have to put an Instagram or a TikTok, because it's 2021, guys.